From the heart of the desert, beneath the blazing Arizona sun, we welcome you into the legendary virtual Phoenix Raceway, where tonight 80 laps will decide it's all in the Bump and Run ARCA Super Series Championship finale. Welcome in here to Sam Studio Network. My name is Sean Stam, and tonight I bring you this some really nice battling. It's going to come down all to this race here between three drivers. It'll come down to Bud Shearer as well as Brandon Moore. Got Charles Van Schwick right there with him in that top three in the standings. Real quick, before we get a little too deeper off into this race, I am double streaming here tonight. I have a virtual stream up as well as a long way stream, so if you are in TV land or PC land, be sure that you are tuned into the right stream. Real quick, before we cut down to virtual trackside action, let's take a look at our point standings. I mentioned those top three, Bud, Brandon, and Charles. All three on the track here tonight. It will be a battle, a duel between these three. How about Sean Judson? He's right up there with them. Dale Rapp, Bill Hales, Anthony Lane, Austin Mice, Brian Huntley Jr., Travis Farmer, rounding out that top 10 in the points. I think it'll just be within those top three here tonight, as once again this 10 race season will come down all to this. Welcome in here to the virtual Phoenix Raceway, where we have qualifying taking place here at the moment. Before we take a look at some qualifying results, let's take a look at our race info here tonight. 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That's looking like 82 degree Fahrenheit track temperatures. We're sitting at an altitude of 968 feet. Got 28% humidity point, partly cloudy, as well as 10 mile per hour winds. Let me know if everything is sounding A-okay down there in YouTube land below, because I'm doing a lot here behind the scenes. There, you saw it on your screen. Producing, commentating, directing. I mean, you can name it all. But right now, with qualifying taking place, we got Jaden Sanchez. Jay, he's just now finishing up in that Toyota Camry. Here comes Austin Mice, that McConey Setup Shop LLC, number 97 Chevrolet SS. He's going to come by this time to complete his second lap. Right now, he's showing 6th on the timing and scoring charts. Welcome in here once again to Stam Studio Network. If you were tuned in on that vertical broadcast, I appreciate you. That means you are tuned in live on YouTube Shorts, or if you have tuned in there accidentally, be sure that you work your way and on over to the long ways broadcast here. We got quite a few different things going on here tonight, but real quick, as we do have qualifying finishing up, Charles Van Schwick, Jaden Sanchez, Jay fastest at the moment. Let's do something special here. This is something that took me all day to do. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this championship tonight from the Bump and Run ARCA series.
And multi-platinum selling recording artist, Pentatonics.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' bright glance, the bombs bursting in us, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Whoa!
Welcome into the virtual Phoenix Raceway. We got championship action here tonight. We got some good tears rolling down the cheeks. I am Sean Stam, Stam Studio Network. It all comes down tonight. Bud Shearer comes in leading us in the points. Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick is right there with him. Let's take a look at our starting grid here tonight. Oh boy, that was beautiful. Took me all day to put that one together. Welcome in here once again, Charles Van Schwick. He's been Schwick all season. That number 23, I'll put it up there on pole. Jaden Sanchez J, Bud Shearer, Brandon Moore, Sean Judson. Looks like Austin Mice, Kyler McCarthy, John Holliday, Brian Huntley Jr., Mike Allen, Travis Farmer, as well as Anthony Lane rounding out that top 12. 15 driver field here tonight. We got Xavier Salgado out of the U.S., Chris Campbell, KBM Motorsports, as well as Dale Rapp, also the U.S. driver. The 52, he will round out that 15th driver spot here tonight. Alrighty, welcome in, welcome in. Let's get this thing all kicked off. We're gonna have some fireworks here by the time the end of this race is all said and done. It's going to be Charles Van Schwick, who sits third in the points right now. Brandon Moore, once again, P2. That is scrolling at the bottom of your screen if you ever do happen to forget it. And then, of course, there Charles P3. But Bud Shearer, who starts P3 here tonight in that second row, that Burger King number 93 machine. He's definitely going to be a driver to keep an eye on here, as once again it all comes down to this championship race. We are too wide. We are live from the virtual Phoenix Raceway. It is in Charles Van Schwick's, Jaden Sanchez J's hands. Here we go. Green Flag Racing, just a few moments time. Shouting out all the sponsors and affiliates: Silver Fox Racing, Extreme Scoring, Mad Dog Graphics, Cotton Bowl Speedway. Keep them coming. We got some racing to do here. Bud Shearer, Charles Van Schwick all looking side by side already into turn one. That did not take long for that number 93. I told you guys to keep an eye on that machine. That Chevrolet SS makes his way down and out to the race lead. How about Charles Van Schwick already losing that spot? 2 spots gained for Bud, a spot lost for Charles Van Schwick. How about Jaden Sanchez J as we look side by side right behind him? Austin Mice gonna cut the dog leg. Oh my goodness gracious, Brandon Moore will stay up the racetrack. Now Austin is able to get that spot from Brandon Moore. Doesn't take long for things to look side by side here, but if you are a driver, these right sides, they're going to be your babies, your children here tonight, going to want to savor every tiny little bit and save them to the end of this race. Try and keep the life in them here. Number 97 is looking fast here early on. Still some side-by-side battle in action here between Mike Allen, Brian Huntley Jr. We'll settle it back out, or will we? Here comes Brian Huntley Jr. down and around the inside. He'll try it. Doesn't quite have it, coming off a 3. Little scrape of the wall there for Anthony Lane there right beside him. But that number 81 is looking like he has some pace here. How about Travis Farmer, newer driver to this track, first time running Phoenix Raceway. We'll hop on board of Travis. He's already looking down the inside of Brian Huntley Jr. Remember, babies are these tires. Please keep them underneath you here. Travis, he tried that inside line once again. Did not make it stick. He's going to fall back to that spot where he started this race, which would be P11. Backing out to the race lead right now, Bud Shearer, number 93, leading number 23. If you're just now joining us, Bud Shearer is leading Brandon Moore in our overall championship race. The points here tonight as it all comes down to Phoenix. And, well, right now we're starting to see what we have seen all season. Bud is consistent with his pace. He's excellent on these race restarts. But don't count out Charles Van Schwick. He is damn quick on these long sort of paces. If we do get some green flag runs and a green flag pit stop, don't count out Mr. Van Schwick, as he is still well within striking distance of our race leader, Bud Shearer. This is coming down to the race lead as well as the championship lead here. We're only 6 laps in. This is about 76 laps to go there. They're coming to 73, excuse me. But Charles Van Schwick, regardless here of the math that is going on here behind the scenes. He is still within striking distance, getting a little bit of dirty air on that nose of that Ford Mustang. We got a Chevrolet SS leading a Ford Mustang, leading a Toyota Camry. And that is the Toyota Camry, of course, of Jaden Sanchez. How about him here? Number 18 running that Joe Gibbs Racing Mobile 1. Kind of inspired paint scheme here. Made that pass over Austin Mice. He looks -1 spots where he started this race. Austin Mice once again showing some really nice pace here tonight. The Mice machine moves up to P4. 2 spots gained. One of those spots was gained from Brandon Moore right here. It's number 43. This is the driver who was sitting P2 in the points. Right now our first and third drivers are going at it for that race lead. They are more than going at it for the race lead here tonight. If you're newer within the iRacing universe, iRacing is a simulator that simulates just about every tiny little thing you can imagine. Track temp, air, track conditions. I'm not going to name every little single thing here, but as I was just about to mention, that's Charles Van Schwick is continues to get closer to that rear bumper of Bud Shear. It's going to drive just a little bit tighter. That car is not going to turn just as much as you'd like. Now he has a little bit more cleaner air off the front of that nose of the 23. We'll look side by side coming out of turn 2, heading into turn 3 and 4. Looks like Charles Van Schwick will give that spot right back. As you blink your eye, here comes Jaden Sanchez. Jay, where did he come from? Where did he go? Jaden Sanchez, your new name is Cotton Eye Joe. There we go, Jaden Sanchez. He's going to try the outside line in 2 and 3. Number 93 of Bud Shear. He's going to lose that race lead for the moment. Van Schwick out front. Side by side for V2 here. We are running limited fuel runs, so that's about 49 laps on these fuel tanks if it is green flag edition. Be sure you keep that in your memory bank here tonight as battles continue to heat up. No, that's the 18, Jaden Sanchez J going around, round. All right, boys and girls, that one's on me. Go ahead and blame the Sean and Tater curse on that one because, well, right as I was starting to talk about a green flag run, the driver out of Union, New Jersey, here you see it, Jaden Sanchez, number 18. He's going to go around. We'll take a look at that Stam Studio Network race replay here in just a few moments' time. I have a feeling this all transpires a little too quickly. Yep, door quarter not quite clear for that 18. We'll have to take another look at this, possibly a drone camera shot. Believe me, I know all about those drone camera shots out at Cotton Bowl Speedway. Let's hop on board here, try this one more time. All right, yep, that's it gets so tight there within the dogleg. I'm not going to put that on any driver, not the 18 or the 93 here, because if we hop on board with Jaden for this wreck here, you don't know if the driver to your inside is going to cut that doggy leg or not. Bark, bark, bark. Looks like he's not going to cut it. And, well, around Jaden Sanchez goes. Around he stops. Nobody knows. Thankfully, it is before that safer barrier. He'll lock it back down. All of these drivers now coming into pit lane. I stand corrected. All of these drivers but one. Looks like Sean Judson, driver of the W Energy number 19 Toyota Camry, will stay out. We got Charles Van Schwick, Jaden Sanchez J, Mike Allen, Bud Shear, Brandon Moore, Xavier Salgado, the whole field I might as well just call it. How about Xavier Salgado? Looks like he'll take a quick stop here, possibly not taking tires or at least 2. This driver out of Chicago, he's having a fun time watching the Chicago street course race, I do imagine, earlier on today. This Ford Mustang, he will gain 10 spots since that drop of the green flag here with this strategy call. Welcome in here once again to Stam Studio Network. My name is Sean Stam, and if you are tuned into the vertical broadcast, well, hey, I appreciate that. That means you're live here on YouTube Shorts. Well, that also means something else, that you might be in the wrong place, wrong time. There's 2 broadcasts right now live on Stam Studio Network. One is long ways if you are looking on the computer or your TV or something along those lines. Speaking of YouTube land, Terry, Travis, Edward, NASCAR Maniac, appreciate every single one of you. Say, hey, that's we got some fans of Travis down here tonight. Travis will get side by side back and through the pack here, and we'll get back to some green flag action here in just a few moments' time. Real quick here, take a look at that pit stop strategy lap on the bottom right of your screen. Every single one of these drivers, last pit on lap 13, and most, if not all of them, it looks like took 4 tires except for Xavier Salgado. That's something that we're going to have to keep in mind here as Sean Judson, just don't pull a Cletus here, boy. Don't spin those rear tires. Let's get back to some green flag racing. Here we go once again on Stam Studio Network. Thank you all for joining in here tonight. Let's get back to racing from the Phoenix Raceway. This is championship action coming at you live. What a move, what a run there on that race restart for Sean Judson. He spells it the right way, S-H-A-W-N. He will retain that race lead for the moment, but we're now going to look side by side between Austin Mice, Mike Allen. Here's Charles Van Schwick, one of those championship running drivers. Our top 3, once again, Bud, Brandon, and Charles Van Schwick. There's a little side-by-side action there coming out of 4. We'll keep it side-by-side. Matter of fact, number 23, Goat Lives Matter Machine, trying that inside line. Door quarter just about clear. Charles back up to P5. Here we go. Battle starting to intensify there between Mike Allen. That's a driver number 29. That's a AMP machine. Chevrolet SS, orange and black machine. Try to get that car down and onto that apron, try and get this apex down out of 4. He completely blew the corner. It takes all just that. Here comes Charles Van Schwick. We got sparks flying out of the desert. Championship run here tonight. We're almost a quarter of the way through. Come on now, go ahead, enjoy the sights and sounds of this racetrack. Crank it up here out in the desert. This is your one warning here. Go ahead and crank this down. You might want to crank it down pretty quick because I'm about to be back at the top of my lungs here. Jaden Sanchez, Travis Farmer, as well as Xavier Salgado. These drivers, we're looking 3 wide here for just a few turns. It looks like we'll get back down to 2 wide. Here's Jaden Sanchez. Looks like we do have a faster pair here tonight for the championship race. He will work his way back and up to P6 for the moment. Battle for the lead starting to heat up here is Austin Mice. This is a driver, I believe, on 4 tires compared to 2 of the Sean Judson machine. Sean Judson, that Toyota Camry will drop back down to P2. Here comes Charles Van Schwick right within this battle. This is starting to heat up. Broil here tonight for the championship run and the ARCA Bump and Run Series. You can't get much better than this here on Stam Studio Network. My name is Sean Stam. Welcome in here tonight. If you're just now joining us, you have missed quite a bit of racing action. It will continue to broil between the Chevy, the Ford, and that Toyota Camry. Oh, there we see it. it. Once again, Sean Judson is starting to lack just a little bit of grip right now in that Toyota Camry. W Energy there on that rear quarter panel as we still once again start to look side by side for the race lead. This is going to head into turn 1. Austin Mice is going to try and drive up the hill, try and get that crossover move back around Van Schwick as Van Schwick took the lead away from him down there out of 4 and 3. Here we go once again into 3 and 4. This time it'll be contact for their 2 leaders. Sean Judson has his popcorn bucket out. Charles Van Schwick will bounce off and around Austin Mice's rear quarter panel. That'll be Charles Van Schwick who retains the race lead for the moment. Here we go, side by side, door quarter clear for that number 19. W Energy is showing some pace here tonight. They'll take that P2 right back and around Austin Mice. Austin is saying, I am not done with this battle just yet. Don't you dare count me out of it. Here we will look side by side once again into 2 and 3 here. Excuse me, 1 and 2. This is immaculate battling here. You can't get much better than it's here on Sam Studio Network as well as Bump and Run ARCA series. It's taken all of these drivers. I'm trying to put this in perspective as best as I can right now. Every single one of these drivers sweating throughout the field. Even though these are sim rigs, we are having elbows out here. Remember, that is Bud Shear, that Canadian driver, number 93, who pit from that race lead earlier on. Burger King machine trying to wrap that apron there out of 3 and 4. Not quite having the pace as he did earlier on. He's getting a little bit deeper into that pack. A little bit more dirtier air on that front nose of the Chevy SS. Struggling to work his way back and through. Alrighty, once again, good God. Here's Mike Allen, once again the driver number 29. He started just about, I believe, 10th place. Mike is shown up to 6th right now. This is a really nice run here for Mike so far, but don't count out with Mr. League owner of the Cup Series itself, number 88 National Guard Chevy SS. Dives it down the inside. There's some wall scrapings there in front of him. Diving down and through the doggy leg. Bark, bark, barking is Brian Huntley. Still not clear from that spot. Goodness, he is not quite clear there out of 3. This is coming to 4 this time by, as we once again will get side by side for both 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. 3 wide there for a moment. How about Buddy? Still not able to gain any ground on this front running track. Right now it is Charles Van Schwick up out front leading Austin Mice. How about Sean Judson? He's making his strategy call work right now for the moment. Brian Huntley Jr. sent it on there with a post-it stamp. Around and around Mike Allen, that inside line. Brian works his way down up to P6. Here comes some more side-by-side battling. This will be between Mike Allen as well as that number, there we go, 93 machine, Bud Shear. Once again, that one Canadian driver here tonight, Chevy SS on Chevy SS here. As one, oh, there's a nice battle here right behind him. Brandon Moore, we got to talk about the 43 here tonight. He is in our top 3 in the points. He came in this race just sitting 2nd in the points, minus 11 back here. Not really having too much pace. I'll respectfully hear from Phoenix. We are cresting sunset here within nighttime, so could have this kind of long run game here for Mr. Brandon Moore, as we've definitely seen Brandon Moore kind of make that long run strategy work here down and out throughout the season, as he gets a really nice front row battle of this battle happening, transpiring. Looks like Brandon Moore's going to join this battle. Little bit of puff of smoke there right out there in front of Mike Allen. This is Travis Farmer, that Texaco K&N machine. What a crossover move here. Brandon Moore down and around the inside. That'll be Brandon Moore up to P9. Once again, Bud Shearer, P7 right now. He came in this race leading us in the points. Brandon Moore now sits 1 spot behind him. Charles Van Schwick, he is up right now so many points. He could come away with this championship run here tonight if my math is serving me all correctly. Obviously, correct me if I am wrong here, boys and girls, but it looks like Van Schwick is definitely showing the pace as well as showing his hand here tonight, burning these right sides off pretty quick here, as we're going to crest lap 35 already out of lap 80, almost halfway there, almost time for another crank it up, just 5 laps time Here we go once again. Brian Huntley Jr. He is a shark that smells blood in the water at this moment, continuing to work his way up through the field. You might be asking, where are the replays of the incidents? Well, we really haven't had all that much except for John Holiday earlier on, but John Holiday, number 9 right now, finds himself this Toyota Camry white, black, and blue machine here. Can't quite tell that sponsor on the side, but John Holiday, he's still definitely within striking distance if there is a caution that comes out. Real quick, here's the incident that took John Holiday out of the race. Ooh, it'll be a self-spin and overcorrection. There we see it, advanced sim racing on the side. Ooh, hard contact with Chris Campbell. That'll actually take that 68 Road Ranger at least. Is it? I'm showing out of the race with that incident. John Holiday abiding to take his, and I don't blame him, his fast repair there, because he probably would have been down and out of this race, as we do see Chris Campbell as well as Dale Rapp. Right now, those are only 2 drivers down and out of this thing. We are coming to just about halfway. Once again, Brian Huntley Jr. continuing to get ever so closer to that rear bumper of Kyler McCarthy. Let's hop on board real quick before our quick crank it up. This is Brian Huntley Jr.'s kind of, lap line as well as kind of inputs you see in the bottom right here. Look at him sawing on that wheel. Gonna definitely saw on it even more here coming out of 2 and 3 down our short little shoot of a back straightaway. And then if we hop on board with, say, Kyler McCarthy, who's trying to run away from him right now. This is Kyler, who's not quite sawing on the wheel, just a little, he's a little bit smoother on the wheel, excuse me. But that could possibly be just the steering ratio input between these 2 drivers. Obviously, both of them still cutting that dog leg, showing it what it takes to have some speed here tonight. Welcome in once again to Stam Studio Network. If you are on that vertical cast, I appreciate you joining in live on Stam Studio Network. If you're in live on YouTube, on TV, or on your desktop and you're saying, well, this is skinny, it's not looking right, well, join us in live on the other broadcast there. We got 2 live. One is for the phones, one is for the TVs. Real quick, enjoy your second to last crank it up here tonight. This is your one warning here. Go ahead and crank this puppy back down, because right now we got some pit strategy starting to ensue. I was told about 49 laps on a fuel tank here, and here's Sean Judson, who's now finally made his way down and into pit road. He will drop quite a few spots here, but I don't hate the overall strategy call here, because if my math is math in here, Charles Van Schwick, who leads over Austin Mice right now, all these drivers should definitely still have at least one more stop here. as Jaden Sanchez J and Kyler McCarthy make up third and fourth. Bud Shearer makes his way up to fifth place for the moment, as once again was our points leader coming into the race here tonight. Brian Huntley Jr., Brandon Moore, this is all on cue here, as well as Mike Allen also making his way down into pit lane as well. Might be saying, well, what is the big deal here? It's just a green flag stop. Well, exactly, it is a green flag stop. Quite a few of these drivers, at least if you run official races, you're not really used to green flag pit stops because we do have really yellows to throw us off of that. But here within the Bump and Run series, both ARCA and Cup, these drivers are so skilled, they treat each other with just that much respect that we don't get really that too many cautions here unless it's speedway racing, or excuse me, super speedway racing. But that's why this is so important here. You want to make your stops just right on the money. You don't want to speed on pit road, obviously. That'll be a penalty, as well as if you blow through your pit box or just stop even an inch too far in front. That is also just about 5-6 second loss of time. And if you do pit under green flag conditions here, boys and girls, that is worth every little tenth of a second here. As right now we're going to start our strategy runs here. So Van Schwick, Austin Mice, as well as Jaden Sanchez, our top three runners. Bud Shear makes his way up to P4 right now. Our last driver on pit road was that driver Kyler McCarthy, who last pit on 47. Our front runners right now, first through eighth, all pit on last lap. That was 13 in the race. So even though Sean Judson right now is shown one lap down compared to all these other drivers, he is on newer tires. He's on that much more of a fuel tank. Don't count out this W Energy number 19 Toyota Camry. He's going to definitely gonna throw this strategy all for a run for the money here tonight, as Xavier Salgado now, I thought he was making his way down into the pit lane. Just a slight blink for that number 20. Matter of fact, our biggest mover right now on the racetrack. I know this is all when strategies are starting to ensue, but driver of the Ford number 20 looks like big old weave there on that back straightaway, just trying to let Brandon Moore by, trying to not lose too much time there. Xavier Salgado, here comes race leader Charles Van Schwick. That was a little quick down there into the pits. Oh, speaking of quick, Jaden Sanchez, I didn't see a tire lock up there, so possibly he's probably A-okay there as far as penalties go, but that's, once again, you have to push every little tenth, every little inch that you can here tonight. Long ways down along this pit lane here. Jaden Sanchez, remember, he was wrecked earlier on in this race. This JGR kind of inspired Toyota Camry 18 Mobile 1 paint scheme here. He is well within striking distance of this checkered flag. Though I do say that, we got Charles Van Schwick, who pit right out there in front of him. Charles Van Schwick will take 4 tires there. You saw it, both these drivers up on the invisible air jacks. That was a nice stop for Charles Van Schwick. Very smooth. Austin Mice coming into pit lane as well. Looks like Bud Shear, race leader for the moment, will make his way into pit lane. Burger King Machine, number 93, is in his box. 10 seconds back is Xavier Salgado. Anthony Lane is about 15 seconds back. John Holliday, then Austin Mice. Then it'll cycle back around to what will be Sean Judson. But once again, we have seen this time and time again. Brandon Moore, he's going to pull the overcut here tonight, and if my math is most certainly mathing, Brandon Moore will continue to reel in Sean Judson. Right now he's 2 seconds back of what will be that race lead, unless a caution flies here tonight. It is this battle between Xavier Salgado as well as Anthony Lane, P1, P2 on extremely old General tires here. You can see how old they are. Matter of fact, Xavier Salgado is just trying to keep this car on track as he is getting swamped by lap traffic at the moment. "25 laps to go here, ladies and gentlemen, sim racing fans from around the world. Once again, welcome in here to Stam Studio Network. There we go. I'm getting a little bit too excited here. Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick. Remember, Charles Van Schwick, I was gaslighting, matter of fact, Brandon Moore here, who was, I was thinking pulled the long run strategy, but if we do pull up that pit strategy there, if we can see, yep, Brandon Moore there, P5, he pit on lap 46. Charles Van Schwick is actually in the captain seat here. Remember, Charles was actually leading quite a bit of laps earlier on in this race. He's going to try and look down the inside line. He's got all the clean air on the front of that Ford Mustang. Number 23 versus 43 here tonight at Phoenix. This is all for the championship run as these drivers try and reel in, Bud tries to reel in Charles Van Schwick here as Charles and Brandon continue to look side by side. It is essentially if Bud beats Brandon, that's will be the championship run. However, if Charles comes out and beats both these drivers, which matter of fact, might I add, he is doing right now with that pass, it's going to come down to the admins, but I do believe it will come down to a little nitty, a little gritty, almost, most certainly a little bit of math here as we will get this all finalized here with just 22 laps to go. Remember, Bud came into this race leading. Bud Shearer, Brandon Moore, P2, minus 11 points back, and then Charles was minus 32 points back. Charles now leading our front two runners in this championship. Goat Locker Racing, 23, up to P4. Xavier Salgado, Anthony Lane, Sean Judson right now our front three runners, although it is a little bit of different strategy here. This is our front three runners for that final driver interview spot. Sean Judson, matter of fact, he is on a strategy that could result in a top three finish. However, Xavier Salgado and Anthony Lane are just trying to throw it all out into the wind here tonight. Last time that those two drivers was on lap 13. Just not enough tire pace as well as fuel to go in this race for these front two. Sean Judson leads Charles Van Schwick, does Brandon Moore. Bud Shearer right there would be our first, second, third, fourth. Give that fifth right now for the moment to Jaden Sanchez. Jay, here comes some nice battling. We have seen Austin Mice time and time again throughout this whole season. He comes with the pace pretty strong here. Just, I'd call it just about every single 10 or every single of our 10 races. Goodness gracious. He's continuing to show that here tonight as he'll work his way back and up to P8 right now. Unfortunately, minus 2 spots where he started the race. And then we have Travis Farmer 8 seconds back right now, leading that battle over Mike Allen, that I believe newer driver here in the Bump and Run ARCA series. Just now 18 minutes ago, looks like Anthony Lane will throw his cards into the table, come in from pitting on from position 2. Xavier Salgado, according to my mathematics, will stay out for at least a lap or two. Here we go, side by side. I told us to keep an eye on this battle earlier on here because Charles Van Schwick, he is on just about, I believe, 7 lap newer tires here. And look at the battle here starting to ensue right behind him. This is also a battle between tires. Brandon Moore is starting to play some Super Bowl-esque defense. He is going to have, goodness gracious, Bud Shearer, Bud leading us in the championship points coming into this race right now, leading us in the strategy call between these two drivers. As a matter of fact, Bud leading us in the strategy call in the race. He is having the best tires right now, the longest fuel tank. If we do get some overtime laps here, this is starting to get good. If you're just now tuning in, make sure you got your drink, your snacks of choice. Xavier Salgado leads right now by 14 seconds, but he still has to come into pit road. Charles Van Schwick came into this race by in the third position in the points, 32 points back. He's right now got that P2 spot solidified, what will cycle out to that race lead after he passed Sean Judson. Brandon Moore starting to inch ever so closer. How about Bud Shearer? Once again, these two are drivers that smell blood in the water. 93-43 looking side by side through the doggy leg. Barking. Bud Shearer saying, I got places to be. No, that's Brandon Moore saying, nope, I'm going to right around, take that outside lane, try and carry this this momentum. I'll scrape the wall here, a little bit of a wildfire risk with those sparks down and out the end of that 43 machine. Tide versus Burger King. Food City, here we go. Brandon Moore versus Bud Shearer. Xavier Salgado makes his way down and into the pits. The race leader will cycle out to Van Schwick. Sean Judson, Bud Shearer for the moment. And it is a blanket right now, matter of fact, over these front three running drivers. Charles Van Schwick is able to take it right now and run away. There's Sean Judson right there behind him, that number 19 W Energy. Here comes Brandon Moore. Once again, he almost scrapes that inside safer barrier, trying to get every little inch he can out of the dogleg here tonight from our championship run out of the virtual Phoenix Raceway. Welcome in. If you're just now joining us, we're getting to the good stuff. The cream is rising to the top. Here comes Bud Shearer. He's got Sean Judson clear for that P3 spot. Final driver interview spots. Our cream has risen to the top. Charles Van Schwick, now in P1, came into this race with P3 in the points. Brandon Moore came into this race with P2 in the points. Now he sits P2. How about Bud? Came into this race leading in that point standings. Right now he sits P3. Let me know who you guys have here tonight in YouTube land. This is starting to heat up here. Matter of fact, all through the racetrack. Remember, Jaden Sanchez, he got spun out earlier on this race. A wreck he couldn't really avoid. Coming just to 10 laps to go. This number 18 continues to find some pace as he works his way, trying to get that fifth spot from Austin Mice. How about Brian Huntley Jr.? He is reeling in, right now trying to reel in Kyler McCarthy, that driver of the 24 Chevrolet SS. Blue neon as well as black on that one. That National Guard looks like struggling for grip right now, at least compared to newer tires. Xavier Salgado shown one lap down right now, although he is in trying to get that lucky doggy position back away from, that would be John Holliday, who's just about a corner there in front of him. Matter of fact, call that about 10-15 car lengths, we'll call that one. Here's Brandon Moore, 43. Bud Shearer continuing to heat up. This battle has been heating up all night. It is broiling right now between the 93 and the 43. The championship run. All is going to come down to this. I got to get some official words here after the checkered flag flies. But if Charles Van Schwick is able to come into this race and steal it away respectfully from Brandon and Bud, this will be one for the sim racing history books to write it all about. Brandon Moore, Bud Shearer, if we compare these two lap times between one another, Brandon Moore, it looks like a Christmas tree. Red and green, back and forth. Cat and mouse here between Brandon Moore and Bud Shearer. Just not really able to make a pass here and make up any ground to Van Schwick up out front. Oh boy, we got Anthony Lane. Okay, that scared the heck out of me here. You might see why. It says Anthony Lane has gone around on my timing and scorings here. He did go around right in front of us here up in the booth. Number 81 somehow able to keep it going straight there. No caution will fly. However, Brian Huntley Jr. will also go around about the same timing here. Also no caution out on the speedway for the moment. Coming to 6 laps to go. This is starting to get good here between Brandon Moore and Bud Shearer. This is starting to heat up. 0.2 of a second separating a Chevrolet SS 93, Chevrolet SS 43. Brandon Moore, Bud Shearer. This is going to come down to the championship run. 6 coming to 5 laps to go here out in the desert. Terry, we see you down there live in YouTube land. This is starting to get good. Here we go. Both these drivers trying to cut that doggy leg off as tight as they can, trying to make this track as short as possible. Here we go. Bud Shearer. He's going to try and dive it down that inside line, try and get that shorter run off the exit. Here we see it once again. Brandon Moore able to make that outside line work. Tide Machine showing that outside line momentum. We see it in 1 and 2 here once again, trying to dive it down in that outside line. That safer barrier will most certainly sneak up on you here. These drivers 1.3 seconds back from Van Schwick for this race. race lead. Brandon Moore, Bud Shearer, side by side for this P2 spot. It could be this ultimate championship spot here once again. Brandon Moore, Bud Shearer. Brandon Moore got loose there out of 2 and 3. We'll head around through 3 and 4 here through that Geico restart zone. Coming to 3 laps to go this time by. This is going to get good within the maths as well. Does Charles Van Schwick gain enough points here? I don't think he will. I think we are looking at this battle for this championship run here. It has all come down to race number 10 of this ARCA BNR series. You might see a little bit of a bump. You might see a little bit of a run here. We're continuing to get just a little bit closer, but now he's definitely within that striking distance, within 2/10. He's going to get down within 1/10. Matter of fact, 0/10. Side by side. It'll come down to 2 laps to go. We'll get the white flag lap next lap by. Brandon Moore's trying to run, trying to hide. Here comes a dive bomb for the Burger King machine. 93. He's going to have about 3 more chances. Van Schwick is still out front. That could possibly be the championship run. It's all going to come down to just a matter of points. Here we go through 1 and 2. Brandon Moore, Bud Shearer, side by side. Burger King machine, as well as that Tide machine. Brandon Moore is going to retain that spot for now. This could be this battle for the championship run. Charles Van Schwick will come around to take the checkered flag. It will be Brandon Moore, P2. Bud Shearer will take P3. That is our top 3 runners in the championship points. Stick with us here on Sam Studio Network for live driver interviews, as well as we will get that math and see who just got that championship. It's going to come down to 1, possibly 2 points. Sean Judson will take P4, Austin Mice, Jaden Sanchez J, Travis Farmer, Brian Huntley Jr. Oh my goodness gracious. What a run. What a race here tonight. Mike Allen will take P9. Xavier Salgado, John Holliday, Anthony Lane, Kyler McCarthy, Chris Campbell, as Dale Rapp will take away that P15 spot. Goodness great. Okay, you gotta bear with me here, boys and girls. I've lost my breath here, drivers, if you can hear me, as well as admins. We got to get some points here figured out. Join me in the live driver interview booth or broadcast booth, whatever it may be. This is about to get good here. Oh boy, here we go. Making sure I'm in the right spot here. Once again, Charles Van Schwick, that Goat Locker Racing number 23, will come away with the race win here tonight. Is that enough points gained on our P2? 1 and 3 drivers coming into the race, 1 and 2. And the points, we will have to stick around and hear from league admins themselves. Brandon Moore from Fueled Up Motorsports, as well as Bud Shearer, our top 3 in the points, will take it away here tonight. This has been a battle for the ages. We still got Charles Van Schwick burning this puppy down. Well deserved here for the 23. Alrighty, I just was mentioning it here, but stick with us here on Stam Studio Network. We'll get some live driver interviews here in just a sec, as well as these points all figured out. Man, oh man, what a race, what a season here for Charles Van Schwick, as well as Brandon Moore, Bud Shearer, our top 3 runners. Our overall race winner here tonight, of course, that belongs to Charles Van Schwick. He burnt that puppy down. That Goat Lives Matter, number 23. Call that Ford Mustang to victory lane here. Drivers, oh boy, league owners, I appreciate every single one of you down there in YouTube land as well. Travis, we see you. Terry, NASCAR Mania, Edward, man, every single one of you, CYN, as well as those of you down there in the virtual stream as well, means the world to me here. It's, okay, there we go. That's just, that was perfectly timed here. Charles Van Schwick, welcome to virtual Race to Stop Suicide victory lane here tonight. You got yourself a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, well, I know that you're not at a race admin here or anything tonight, but I would like to congratulate you here on the win. But Charles, do you know if you got that championship run? We know you were, what was it, about 52 points down here. Do you know if you gained enough here tonight?
Oh, probably not. I mean, I missed some races, and I wasn't even I didn't even know where the points were, so I have no idea. So I doubt it. I think Bud got it, got the championship. I think I might have been second or third or fourth. I have no idea.
Good. It's gonna. Well, I think you finished up here third at least, but that's gonna be tight between Bud and Brandon because they came in here tonight just minus 11 points from one another. So and Brandon beat Bud, so that's a little bit of switchback. But anyways, back to your race here tonight. More importantly, Charles, this isn't the first time we've seen you and heard from you here in the virtual Race to Stop Suicide victory lane. I mean. It seems like you have this ARCA car kind of mastered. What does it take here? I mean, you've kind of had it all season.
Yeah, just letting off early. I mean, letting off early and letting the car catch, and then you can basically gas out of it. I mean, this track's a little different than most of the tracks we went to in this car, but same thing. Same thing applied. I mean, I let off way before the black mark on the wall, with which is my usual let-off point in other disciplines, and then a little bit before the first cone, I was letting off, getting down, letting the car catch, and I was able to gas it out of 4 way before everyone else. So tires were good. I mean, I think I was 88, 87 on the rights after that long run. Or the first run. I don't know what my tires are now, but they ain't gonna be a good gauge because I've been doing burnouts. But yeah, I mean, this car is fun. It's easy to drive, and easy to race with. You know, you can beat and bang a little bit, and like I said, you take care of the car. I mean, it just gets faster. It gets fast, or you have less fall off. Doesn't get faster, obviously, but it just gets less fall off the more you take care of it. And that's when I started getting a tenth and a half lap. And then the last run, once I got past, I think Sean, I just was rolling around. I mean, I knew that they, were on 2 tires. I had like 1.8 or 1.9 on those guys once they cleared Sean. So I just rolled around and started going up high and getting a better run off. And that's basically it. Clean win and clean race. And can't complain about either.
Well, Charles, that was a really immaculate run here tonight. Not only tonight, but once again throughout that rest of the race season. Real quick before we get to Brandon Moore and Bud Shearer, that'll be a fun one. Charles, who we shouting out to makes this possible, not only tonight, but throughout that whole season. And if you're with us next season, you got any new shout outs as well?
Yeah, well, if they allow me to come back, jokingly, Bud was complaining about an iRating cap, but if they let me come back, if they let me come back, I'll come back. I would love to race these cars with these guys. I don't need to run for points. Just run. I mean, I don't think I had many incidents or cautions, so I wouldn't be in anyone's way. Obviously to you for the broadcast and everything you do, it's definitely fun to go back and watch. Brian and the admin team. I mean, Brian was racing and doing somewhat race control as best he could, so give him credit for that. And then obviously my drivers, the Goat Racing diecast drivers. I think 9 of them under sponsorship right now, so they're doing their thing. Check out the website, goatracingdiecast.com. Look at the website. There's promo codes. That's how those drivers get paid. If you use their code and buy something, they get a percentage. So pick your favorite driver and use that, and then keep your eye out. I think it's Fox Sports 2 when ARCA heads to Dover. My logo will be on the TV panel of Brayton Laster's car at Dover Motor Speedway.
What? Hey, that's pretty sick, man. Congrats, Charles. Oh, man, I'll definitely keep my eye out.
Yeah, I gotta get quick. He's a low-budget team, so he does his best to stay out there, but any TV time's good TV time, especially around my area.
Oh, man, I feel that, and oh, man, I can't wait till I'm kind of in that same boat with you, but congratulations, Charles, and, man, if Bud's talking about an iRacing cap, I know you're sitting at 4,200 yourself, but he was sitting side by side with Brandon Moore, who's at 4,000 iRating himself, so I don't know.
Oh, he said it jokingly, but
Yeah.
you know how and me and Bud have talked. It's jokingly, but you know how that can go.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel you, man. But
One
thank
of
you,
these
Charles.
days, I might get good enough to be sponsored by Chuck.
There you go. And that's a great transition right there. How are you doing here tonight, bud? That was a great battle here tonight we had for the championship.
Yeah, it's a little eventful at the start, but calm down near the end.
Well, bud, I'm still waiting on official confirmation on who got this championship here tonight, but we know that you came in here tonight with that championship race lead. You're going to finish P3 to Brandon Moore. It'll definitely be tight, to say the least. But Bud, what was going through your mind here coming to the closing laps? I mean, just seeing Brandon Moore finish about what, 1.5 tenths in front of you there.
I didn't really care because he had to get 4 bonus points and win, and I still only had to finish 7th to beat him at that point.
Oh, okay,
So,
there. Well, I'm glad I was selling it.
I was trying to put the run on him at the end, hoping he'd screw up and drop back just to make it bigger, but he didn't.
Well,
I didn't have nothing to gain.
Oh, I feel you there, man. Just a little bit of friendly battles here. We've seen it time and time throughout this season. Well, so that'll make it official, bud. You will be the championship winner here this season.
Yeah, it might be the last time I get to race in a league for a while. I got put on nights for work, so yeah, these are difficult for me to make it to.
All right, we understand you got the priorities here tonight, but real quick, I'll give a huge shout out here to Bud Shear, as well as I guess Burger King on that side panel. Congratulations, man! Championship run here tonight. You made it official from the virtual Phoenix Raceway. Who we shouting out to makes this all happen for you, man?
Oh, I'd like to thank you guys for putting on the stream, and Brian and everybody for putting on the league, and RBS Racing, my Sean and Justin, and everybody that shows up every week to actually put a race together and make it happen. So yeah, it was fun. Had to try a little harder at some tracks than I would have liked to, but we were a little outgunned for, I'd say, 90% of the races. But I don't know, we got lucky, made some calls and took track position over lap time. And sometimes when you're not very good on offense, you just gotta make sure you're good on defense.
Goodness, it's been so much fun to watch here. I can't wait till hopefully we have a next season coming up here. I think we have some talks about it here behind the scenes, but man, Bud, I really appreciate you taking the time here with us here on Sam Studio Network. And once again, congratulations on your podium finish, as well as that championship run here tonight. I can't wait to hopefully see it next season, but we know that you'll be pretty busy here.
Yes, sir. Thank you kindly.
Thank you, man. Looks like that's I don't have any Brandon Moore here in the driver interview booth here. So before we get going, I would like to thank everybody down there live in Stam Studio Network land, both YouTube, the horizontal as well as the vertical broadcast here tonight. It means the world to me. Thank you, every single one of you. It's I can't do it without you, the drivers, the league owners, as well as you guys. You guys are what makes it all possible. I'm going to give Mr. Moore here just a few more moments time here, but I appreciate every single one of you. Drive home safe, catch your virtual flights home safe, and hopefully I'll catch you guys Tuesday night, where we will have Bump and Run Cup Series live from the virtual streets of Chicago. Oh, that'll be fun. Tomorrow night's the real life the real life streets of Chicago Cup Series action. That'll be a good one. Will Shane Van Gisbergen sweep the weekend? I most certainly think so. Alrighty, drivers, appreciate it, every single one of you. From the bottom of my heart, fans alike, I'm going to catch my virtual flight home. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.